Well, happy Saturday and happy New Year 2022. Amazing. Amazing. How many of you remember Y2K and the whole thing that was going on with computers and the change of the millennium coming into the year 2000? And we're 22 years past that. It is almost hard to believe. It feels like it was just yesterday we were dealing with Y2K. So at any rate, I'm excited to be here. I really am excited to be here. Starting a new year of hanging out with you all over here on YouTube. It brought me so much pleasure and joy last year to form, so many bonds in this community. And we even discovered Premiere. Ooh, and we've been having some amazing hangouts there. And I continue to look forward to those. As many Saturdays as I can, I will be there because I just enjoy chatting with you all. So for those of you who haven't joined us Saturday mornings for the live premiere, we just hang out and talk, please do. It's been a lot of fun. Let's see, lots to talk about as we get ready to jump into Gelli junk-a-dory. This is such a fun structure. When I started this structure about 3 years ago now, it was my response to loving the Midori and loving my Gelli prints and having all these extra prints all over the place and what do you do with them? I love the idea of junk journal, but you know me, I had this kind of different idea about what I wanted my junk journal to look like. Really wanted it to look like this old book that was just full of found objects, almost like a cabinet of curiosities, but also had my artwork and art in there that looked like paintings and that type of thing. So that is what it is become. And so I'll be sharing so many of those techniques and ways of journaling with you all this coming year. And thank you for being so excited about this project. So many of you have shared your excitement with me in emails and the comments below the video. So I'm excited to move forward with it. Additionally, many of you have probably already heard as I've sent out a mail, when I sent out my Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everyone. I mentioned it there, but I'll share it here as well, is I have a publisher. Clap, 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 drum roll. And so many thanks and shout out to members of my community for just all of the love and support that I've gotten from you all. But Schiffer Publishers will be publishing our Gelli Printing 101 book. Yes, they made the offer last week, and we're ironing out, well, the details have really been ironed out. They're just sending me the contract next week to sign off on everything. Now I'm pulling together a lot of images and photos and stuff that they need. The book will go into an editing process, so there'll be a lot of back and forth with them. I'm sure just, sending me things to iron out and get just right. So I'm looking forward to that process, and it should be actually available next year, probably November-ish in 2020, somewhere around that timeline. So I'll keep you all updated on the process. Those of you who are my patrons and follow me in Patreon, you all will get the updates, probably sort of monthly updates. I'll let you all know what's going on and keep you posted. So if you haven't become a patron, I invite you to come over, be a patron, because there will be lots of things that I'm sharing back there. And then also, I am doing some different things in Patreon as well, and just, offering some, a lot of videos and things that I've already done. There's cataloging. It's all kind of stuff going on over here. I won't even get into that right now. But the point is that, yeah, we have a book with Schiffer Publishing. So I am looking forward to continuing to move and letting you all know about that. Also, I will have a level in Patreon that that's just helping to support the book project, me writing it, me being able to take time off of other projects, etc., so that I can really stay focused on this book. As you can imagine, there's a lot that goes into it. It's going to require a lot of hours from me. So I will be definitely doing YouTube every Saturday. On Patreon, I will be offering things over there, but there will be a level, $100 level, where those who join and support me for a year at that level so that I can really flesh this book out will absolutely be acknowledged in this very first book that will be published with Schiffer as the patrons who supported this project. And it means so much to me. So I know that's not something everyone can do, but I know there are many of you who can do it because you have been doing it at the most amazing levels. The things that my patrons, and many of you just who are not patrons, but you just send me so much, you share so much with me, and I'm forever thankful. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I will be offering that $100 level. It will get capped off in February because I want, in fairness to everyone, I want, you know, a full year of the support. You will definitely get the mention in the acknowledgments and the acknowledgement page on the book. And also there'll be some free workshops that you're going to get. When I introduce workshops, you won't have to pay for them, things like that. Good stuff. So I just wanted to do a real quick to let you all know, because I know many of you would love to do that at that level, and I would hate for you to only find out months later when it's closed. So if you want some more details, you can write me info@robinmcclendon.com, and me and Eva will give you just a full out on exactly what that's going to look like, so you can make your decision before joining Patreon, and just in all fairness. Okay, now that's all the good stuff out the way. So now we're going to move forward. So what I wanted to do today is I'm going to show you how to lay the inside of your book out. And after we do this, there's going to be the video that shows you how to make this cover. I know I shared it with some of you, but many of you couldn't find the video, didn't really understand what we were doing. So the video in where I make this cover will follow. I'll attach it, or I should be able to think about that. But if it's not right connected to this video because I wasn't able to do it some kind of way, please, 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 below this video in the description, there will be a link for making this cover so that you can make your cover. You'll know it, you'll know exactly what is needed to be able to make this Midori style with the cords and everything. So it'll be like the second link, because the first link will be printables for this month. There'll be a third Asian printables. They're completely different images from the first two. Beautiful stuff in there. So the first link are going to be the Asian printables. The second link is going to be, it'll be titled Gelli junk-a-dory cover. And if you click that, you're going to be able to go to the video that's going to show you how to make this cover. Okay. Now, I also have a tendency to make a cover. You don't have to, but I have a tendency to make a fabric cover, because generally this cover I'll keep and put new inserts into it. Just like this is one of my earlier ones, and I take and I put inserts in this one. So like this would go in, wait a minute, I'm sorry. The cover with a fabric cover would go inside of this one like this. And this one, when I travel, I have an up front area that has a place for a lot of my notes and things like that. So you can also kind of use your Gelli junk-a-dory as a travel journal, and you can just put an extra book inside. There's 2 cords, so there's enough places to put your journal and another, blank notebook or something. So the reason why I like to do a fabric cover is because I like just to have a secondary cover around my journal. Now, the fabric cover, you do the same way you do this one. You can make 2, you can make 1. It doesn't matter. But basically, the fabric cover, I just take a piece of fabric. This is all upholstery fabric. A lot of these African fabrics are from my collection of Swuza and Kuba cloth and mud cloth, and I've taken and put it on a beautiful piece of silk. This is a piece of Fortuny silk that I had in my collection, and so that was put on top of this, and then the linen that I use to do a resist on is on the inside, and they've basically been glued and then sewn together. So you can make a hard cover using leather, and you can make a softer cover just with fabric. So I hope that makes sense. But the video will show you how to do it, and then you can choose exactly how you want to play around and get it done. But this is what mine looks like. And then the journal that goes inside, in this case right now I have 15 blank pages. I mean blank, oh my goodness. They're pages that I have different things on. I stained them. These were some that had Gelli prints on them, where I was working with different techniques. You can see this has the green. So a lot of my old Gelli papers I'll use. These are papers that I ran through the printer, and for one reason or another it wasn't right, and so I just of course reuse them. So you can see, I'm just doing a quick flip so you can see the kind of papers that are in my journal. This is some scrapbook paper that I stained. A lot of these have been stained with coffee, tea, rust, that kind of thing. So some of them are just a coffee and tea rust stain. And I literally just grabbed my scrap papers like this had where I was doing Gelli printing, and I was actually pulling some extra paint off of the plate, and I don't throw those papers away. I'll just stain them and do stuff with them. This is where I was just kind of working around with some mark making. A lot of times when I'm using my Sumi brush, I have an extra piece of paper where I'm just testing my marks and things like that, you know, before I actually do the painting. And so I keep all of those and stain them. This is some more of the scrapbook paper. So I wanted you to see, like, this is just old Gelli prints, and where I was brayering off the Gelli, the brayer to get ready to Gelli print. That's a lot of good paint on there, so I don't throw them away. I stain them. This is some more brayering. This is a print that I did, you know, the multicolor Mark Rothko one, and for some reason or another, I don't know if there was anything wrong with it. I just decided to use it in here. Here's some more. And so all of these pages have been, you know, coffee and tea stained. I just like that old, vintagey, you know, already cabinet of curiosities kind of feel to it. So when we start working on it, a lot of this will get covered up. But it's just a great place to begin, because there may be bits and pieces, like when I get to this one, this center one, I probably won't cover this up by much, and so I'll do some techniques that'll allow there to be translucent layers and things like that, and there may be bits and pieces that I'll work with in my design. So just think about stuff that you're going to most probably cover up, but there'll be bits and pieces of it that you won't. But if you cover some of it up, it's okay, because you got lots of blank pages. You know, it's a lot of blank area to work with. There are 15 of these pages. Now, let's do measurements. The Gelli junk-a-dory, I normally use the standard size Gelli, the Midori style journal. That way you can get the books. This is some of the, you know, the Midori stuff that comes along with it, but this is one of the Midori books. So you can get a lot of the this is a Midori clip, so you can get a lot of the standard things to fit into your book. So it is, the standard Midori is approximately 8 3/4 by, I think theirs is more like 4 1/2 or 4 1/4, but I make my journal 5 because we're putting so much stuff in here that by the time you start, you know, it just starts popping out. So you want to have enough space for you to put your pages in and for there to be enough to go around it. So I can show you better with this one. See, when I put it in, there's extra fabric hanging over. the way I've done it, so that the pages are right there, but you have extra space for them to expand. So I cut, so if my journal is approximately closed, so open it'll be 10, let's just do that. So this makes, I want this to make total sense, because this is the week that you're going to get your journal all fleshed out. So it's 10 by about 9.5. That's, or 9, about 9 inches. That's a good amount. It can be a little bit longer, but that size is a good size for your journal. So with our 10 by 9 roughly, we end up with a 5 by 9 cover. And you can make your external cover, this one, a little bit bigger. So if you decide that you want to do an external one that you're using old leather, upholstery fabrics and stuff, whatever, then I would make this one first and then just make this one a little bigger. That's all. Okay? That would be the easiest way to do it. Now the inside papers, I tear them down to be just about 9 inches by 8 and 1, 2, 3, 8. So about 8 3/8. Because it's going to be shorter than the actual cover, so that it can fit inside. You know, you have enough room top to bottom, and then it's about 1 inch shorter, so that when it's folded, you know, you're in about 1/2 inch on either side. So that means that folded, it's going to be about 4.5 by the 8 3/8. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, now with that, what I'll do is, there's 15 sheets in here, and honestly that is plenty, because we're going to do this for the whole year, and if we do together, we'll be doing at least one, we'll be doing one a week, which is 52 of them, right? And so with 15 sheets, well, I won't say it's plenty, it's just, it'll be just enough. So with 15 sheets, that gives us 60 pages, because 15 front times 4, because we have to count the front and back. So one sheet gives you 4 pages, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So in our journal, this would be considered 1 page. Okay, and this would be another page. So with the 15 pages, that gives us 60 pages in this book. And 60 pages, when we're actually working, is quite a bit. So this one right here, and you can still put envelopes and different inserts in there, so that doesn't even include some of the other kind of little insert things that we'll be doing, that we'll just kind of be adding to the pages. So let's see, let's just count this one together so we can see. I'm not going to count the insert. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, these are just 14, 15, I think that should be like there, 16, 17, I won't count that, that's an envelope, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, we're at the middle. So this was 22 sheets, the very first one that I did, and you can see front and back, it's really hefty, because by the time we put all of our stuff in there and the extra pages and stuff that we do, so that was 22 pages. What I'm thinking is that we'll be working together every Saturday, And I will be doing some in between on Patreon. But you literally could do a couple of these journals in a year, or you could do some and you might want to do another extra, you might want to do smaller versions to give as gifts, so they don't have to be quite as thick as this one. It could be more of the smaller kind of jelly junk-a-dory, the sort of junk journals that are given away. So once you get into the the rhythm of this, you'll be making decisions on making more than one for sure, because it's really a neat style. You might end up doing different ones with different themes to them, but certainly doing one page a week, this will be plenty. But I'm going to add more pages in right now, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. And you can also see how I tear down the pages to get to this. Not that it's rocket science, but it's just kind of nice to see it. Because I know I will be doing more in this. Plus, it's going to be my journal for the year, so I will do other kind of stuff in here. I know. I just know that I am. So I'm going to put extra pages in now. What I like to do is I'm going to use these pages that we did. I remember I told you when I printed these out, I did them front and back because I knew that I wanted to be able to use them in journaling stuff. So I'll take these out because I still want to use the these as journal cards and stuff like that. So I probably will make some kind of little booklets with it. In front and back, they'll be in there. So I'm going to hold on to these. But so if I have 15, let's add at least 5 more pages. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, there's 6. Let's add this one. This will be the front page. Okay, so let's add these, because I did mine front and back. So that's why all the images from this collection, which was 17 pages, the Asian paper collection 1. Many of you already got this one. And I'll keep the links for all the paper packs below. But let's see. So I did it front and back. So I've ended up with this. What I like to do is, trust this is all making sense, is I'll take one of these to use as a template. And I'm going to lay this down, and I kind of just lay it down where, like this, so that the strips I pull off are going to have stuff on them that I can use on either side. Plus I get a torn edge on both sides. That way it's not like one edge is untorn and the other one is. And I just lay them down, all the pages I want to tear, and I just pull a few at a time, maybe 1 or 2 at a time, no more than 2. And just rip them off. Flip it around and get this side. So you can do this with your jelly prints. You can do this with your any of your stained papers that you may already have. Really start off by going through, all of your, all the stuff that you don't really want to throw away, but it's not like, it's not finished art either, so that you can, it's a great way to just use up lots of paper. So here we have that. Now the line at the top, I'm not going to worry about that because I'm actually going to do a little staining. Plus, remember, we're going to be using this in our junk journal, so we're going to be able to, we're doing stuff on top of this anyway, so it's not going to be, we can cover places that we don't like or things we want to add to it. But like, I like scattering these papers throughout because they're going to be neat in that. So for instance, let's just fold this in half. So what I would start doing is I'll just kind of put this in some places in between my papers. And see how cool that's going to start looking? And then when I come to it, I may not do as much on this page. I may add a glassine window and things like that, so that I'll work with the page versus, you know, covering it up completely. Or if I do a page spread, you know, I'll do something different here. And, you know, you see what I'm saying? So it's good to have some images in here. And so I decided I'm going to put these in here for this year. The thing I do need to do to them is I need to get them a little stained because these pages are all stained and these aren't. They're kind of newish, so we don't really want that either. So one of the things I like to do is right here at the desk, I have some of the woad in my bottle, that blue watercolor aquarelle that I've gotten in France. It's not focusing the same. Sorry about that. And many of you ask me about this, and I try to give you the links, but it's like if you live in France, you can get it. Because I got it in Durfort, and in that whole region in southern France, this is well known. Their plants are everywhere, and this has come from that region forever. There's a few companies. This one I got it from was Terre, Terre, which is Terre Pastel, Du Pastel, Pastel. I think it's, yeah. And but it's kind of hard to find in the States. So just finding like an indigo ink or a deep blue watercolor, and then you can make your spray by just putting it in a bottle, and that's basically what I have in here. So basically it's a watercolor in a deep blue. So if you can't get it easily, don't stress yourself out. Just use something like that. So then what I'm going to do is, because this is going to give me like a blue color. Hold up, let me just get something here. Alrighty, got everything that I need. So, you know how I like to put some wax paper or some kind of extra. Oh, wait a minute. My sprayer's not working. Oh, here we go. And what I'm just going to do is spray some of this. But I can only need to do a little bit because it's, you know, otherwise this can, because this is, my prints are inkjet, they do, what do you call it? You know, bleed a little bit. But I like that bleeding. I just try to control it by sort of drying it down, not having too many puddles of water, and then that way as you can see as it's starting to bleed there, you just kind of control it, but it just looks so neat. And I like the bleeding with the with this blue. It's just so cool. So when you get those puddles, just go ahead and I just kind of rub them out. That way there's not too much water there, you know, bleeding all over the place. So if you do have inkjet, you can still, I just let the staining work for me, you know, because I like the grunge and want stuff to look old anyway, so why not just go with it. And it does already start going through on the other side. Yeah. Just kind of dry it up a bit. That way it doesn't get too far gone. A couple more sheets here. Do. So yeah, just go through your stash of all those papers you've been holding on to, and you know, didn't quite know what you wanted to do with, but you knew you didn't want to throw them away. They had some potential. And roughly get yourself 30 pages, you know, or less, because like I said, we can make several of them. And plus you're working faster than me, and how that goes. Like we did last year, you can do more pages. So at the beginning of videos, like I said, we'll be going, moving forward, probably starting in a couple of weeks, I'll be going through like a lot of the, just a lot of different things with jelly printing, from the basics to a lot of just simplifying the techniques, which is also continuing to help me as I'm fleshing out and finishing up the editing and stuff for this book. Doing that is going to really help me know that once the book is out, it's really good step-by-step stuff, and that there'll be just full techniques in there, lots of visuals. And my hope is it's going to be like a coffee table book as well, with just lots of pretty images of my jelly prints, full up so that you can see these things really well. It's hard, they just don't transfer the same way on video. And there'll be full techniques fleshed out that I'm not necessarily doing on these videos, because what I'm trying to do is just really making sure that a lot of the step-by-step basics are done, and that people are really just understanding this, because it's nothing worse than putting a lot of effort into things like a book and things like that, and it's still kind of like a little sketchy, like you don't even really understand what's going on. So my hope is, so at the beginning of the video, and there'll be other techniques, it's just not going to be jelly printing. I'll be doing collage, and this looks so good. I'll have, we'll be doing collage techniques and journaling stuff, all kind of things. But I'm gonna do them in sort of like 10, 15-minute little chunks at the beginning, and then we'll move into whatever we're doing for that week with the with our journal. So it should be a lot of fun. I hope that the mix of techniques along with the journal, the sort of bite-sized techniques will help flesh out of a lot of questions you all have, and just be a neat way to approach refining the things that you already know and that you're already doing. So let's see. I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll be back with the dried pages. We'll put them inside the journal, and voila, you'll be ready to get yours all in order for next week, when we'll be back. Probably we'll start on our first pages then, just see where we are with everything. But I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so here we are back. The papers are dry. See how pretty they bleed? It's like that little bit of blue and then the cream color, and you get this sort of red ring, this sort of bleeding and stuff that happens on the papers. I just love, look at this side, because that's because the color in the ink jet, it starts bleeding, and then using that wood or woad, whichever way is the appropriate way to say it, that blue replaces, so when it's making the dots, it's leaving the color behind. Oh, I love it. So we are going to just go ahead and fold these. I'm going to fold them all, and then we'll find a place for them, and then we're done. We are ready to begin work in our Gelli junk-a-dory. I love these pages two-sided like this. They really look more like age documents too, when you just do that little bit of staining. Like, look at this one. That one looks good. Okay. Excuse me. So let's find. So I'm just going to kind of scatter them through. Okay. Just kind of go every few pages and put them in. Okay. And this one. All right. So that gives me 6 extra pages. I had 15, so that's 31. That's going to be plenty for our journal. And see, so they blend in nicely. So just have at it. Get all of your pages together. And then this is going to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm using an extra piece of elastic for right now. What I like about this journal, it allows us when we're working, you know, to actually take the pages out if we want to and working on them. So I'm going to keep everything sort of loose for right now. And this goes in there. This goes around the outside, and we are ready to go. So, okay, hope you enjoyed getting ready, getting your journal all set up. So don't forget, I'm probably not going to be able to piece that one right next to it because that particular video is on a thumb drive. I have no idea where it is. It's going to be easier for me just to link the clickable link. And it's right here on YouTube. And so make sure you go down and get that to see how to get this cover done. And next week when we meet up, we'll be ready to just start working in our journal. All right, until then, take care. I love you all. And if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and hit that bell for all videos. Thumbs this up if you enjoyed it. And yeah, my goal this year is to build our community. And I would like to build our community this year. Okay, I'm going to share my channel goals. My channel goal is 40,000. That sounds like a nice number, right? Generally, like last year, I did nearly 10,000 new subscribers, and I feel I want to double that because with everything that's going on and that I want to share and the book project and all that we're doing, it would just be nice to reach a larger community. So please share the video out. Let other people know about what we're doing. Get in at the beginning of this wonderful project. And let's just have a lot of fun this year, and as much fun as we did last year. I can't wait to see what this year brings. Take care. Love you all so much, and I shall see you again next Saturday. Bye-bye.